Hello, this is Wmpyr here to go over a private lesson session that I did yesterday. And yeah, it's pretty typical. This was, I think, her fourth lesson, if I'm not mistaken. And okay, so the first thing is just want to go over that. What we did was to start off with the warm up, which is, we're doing stuff like this to get the wrist all warmed up. And then go into, once again, this kind of motion just to get the wrist articulation stronger and also ready. So these are just exercises. Yes, they're connected to actual fighting techniques, but at this time, this would just be an exercise, okay? So we did this as well. And then from there, we went into the double arm swing, which is like this, and you go 1, 2, 1, and 2, right? And that's a nice warm-up exercise, but that one is a technique that would be, I would classify in combat ready. Yes, you could actually use that, boom, 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 Of course, just swinging it in the air alone is not good enough. The more reps you get, the better. It's kind of like in boxing, where a boxer would throw countless jabs, countless crosses, hooks, all that kind of stuff on a daily basis. It's the same idea. You want to get repetitions in, and then you also want to make actual contact with something. And of course, in the Philippines, a lot of times they use a tire. So with the tire, you're just making actually making that contact, right? Very, very good training. Just that alone, in my opinion. So the next thing that we did was the angles of attack. We did the number 5 and the number 6 angles of attack. The number 5 is the diagonal, side to side, and then stab. And then the number 6 is the diagonal, back the way you came, diagonal up, back the way you came, stab, and then eye flick, right? Both of these forms I saw on YouTube taught by Professor Daniel Santo, so just want to get the source there. And then the next one, once we did the angles of attack, you want, just like the double arm swing, you want repetitions there as much as possible. And if you can do tire training, even better. From there, the counterpart, which is the defense to the angles of attack, my favorite, absolute favorite, and big foundation in my own method of Escrima is the force-to-force block. So you're going to be blocking those attacks, boom, 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 this kind of thing, okay? So we do the force-to-force block, and that is going to be your foundation. To this day, there's other defenses that I practice, that I know, that I've done for many years, but if someone comes at me, out of nowhere, and I'm surprised, the highest percentage of what comes out is the force-to-force. This is a modification of the force-to-force block. In empty hand, it's like a swat. That is what comes out. Okay, so boom, that is a modification of that, or this. Okay, so anyway, the force-to-force block is to me, it's like the old school reliable kind of thing. So there you go, force-to-force block, and then from there we went into the double stick partner drills, which is the punching, boom, we do the punching, and the other one we did, number 2, is the X. You make an X, so boom, 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 boom. It's important, even with the punching, is you punch and then you park, punch and then park, okay? You gotta make sure to park, you make the X park, make the X park, and then you'll see that if you do the body mechanics, 1, 2, and then the body, this one, the other one is coming, this one's retreating, so it automatically parks. But you have to play emphasis on the parking, okay? Very important, because if not, then this starts going everywhere and it's not ready. It might end up down here, which I have seen many, many times, and it's can't keep up if we start going faster. The other thing is The third one is up and down. Park, up and down. Park, up and down. Park, up and down. Okay, so you go to punching, X, and then up and down, up and down. So what was interesting about that is we're it's a mirror drill. So we're doing the exact same thing and it meets, right? So at that point, we started switching it. So she would be the switcher, and she would switch it from punching to the X. And I don't know when it's coming. So I have to watch her body mechanics and figure it out. Okay. And then after she did that, then it's my turn, and she doesn't know when I'm going to switch it from number 2 to number 3. So she has to be watching my body and figure that out. So you're learning how to read the body. And so we did that. And the most important thing here, okay, is that includes an element of chaos, because I don't know when she's going to switch it on me, and she doesn't know when I'm going to switch it on her. So that's the chaos, and that keeps you on your toes, and that keeps you like really observant. Very important. Very makes it more realistic. Okay, but the most important thing is not to be perfect, because what we're doing here is it's a medium range essentially, and in real life, it's pretty much next to impossible to defend stuff in medium range. To be able to go identify what's coming at you, and then, pick, have all the defenses that you have and pick the correct one and boom, instantly do that. You just don't have enough time. There's not enough reaction time in medium range. So what we're doing here in practice is like super extremely hard or next to impossible hard in real life. But if we're able to do it in practice, then in real life, you'll have more distance, hopefully, and that'll make it hopefully easier in that sense as far as just reaction time. Because in practice, you're essentially doing something that's harder, way harder, okay? So that's kind of the idea there. But if we start introducing more chaos into the drill, we start to mess up. I mess up. And I've been doing this 3 decades, okay, but I mess up all the time, and it's okay. The most important thing is, it's not about getting the drill perfect and making it look good and putting it up on YouTube or social media. The most important thing is, when you mess up, don't stop, because everybody wants to stop, okay, and go, let's stop, let's restart, okay. No, in real life, you don't get that. You don't get to go, oh, I messed up, can we restart? No, the attacker's going to be on you. So, a good way for me to explain it is kind of like Broadway, okay. If you're an actor in Broadway, it's a live audience. If you mess up, you got to improvise, okay. And if you're the other person that's supposed to deliver also the line after this person that messed up, you got to go with it. You got to work together. You have to figure it out, okay? And that is the skill that we're looking for, is when you mess up or things go unexpected, because that's what happens in real life. Always something goes unexpected, is to be able to deal with that and not go, oh, I have a great plan, I have a great strategy, but this is not what I was expecting. I don't know what to do now. We don't want that. So we want to be able to adapt and overcome. And that is super, super important. And that's what we were working on. And, we had a blast. It was fun. So the next one that we did from the angles of attack so we went angles of attack, force to force block. Then we went into, the double stick partner drills. And then we went into the Heaven 6, of course. And for the Heaven 6, you could do... introduce elements of chaos. You could introduce more force, more power to make it more realistic. We didn't do any of that. At this point, the Heaven 6 was purely just an exercise about learning the technique. You just want to get the technique down. So that's all we were doing there. Because the other stuff was challenging enough. You want to end it in a high note. So at least to me, I was able to see the improvement there in her Heaven 6. So it wasn't realistic yet. Heaven 6 is a technique that can be realistic, but at this point, it was just a technique that she was learning, first get the technique down thing. And it wasn't ready for combat usage, not yet. So that's what we were doing with the Heaven 6. And look, I've seen people, in fact, I just saw a video today, someone using the Heaven 6. They have double sticks. The other person has also a weapon. It was a different weapon, but they had a weapon. And they're sparring, okay? They're sparring, and this person's like trying to use the Heaven 6 against the other person's attack. And look, when you have the distance like that, that is not the way to be using the Heaven 6, all right? It's like you're trying to force in the technique and you're going, I'm the Escrima guy, this is what I do. And that is not the way it works, okay? At that point, when you have the distance like that, you have to go back to your roots of espada y daga. This is more fencing, okay? It doesn't make sense. If someone was doing the Heaven 6 in front of me, and that's what they're doing, I'm going to pick them apart, with this kind of thing. Boom, 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 boom. All into their hands. Or maybe I might even be able to get through this blender and actually pick them apart that way. So it just doesn't make sense to be doing that, okay? And if you do that, you're gonna wear yourself out as well. It is a blender. A blender is great if someone is trying to come in on me, then I could do that real fast and they're like, whoa, I can't enter. Another thing is if I want to assault them, okay? So if I see an opening and I charge in with a blender, that's another, that's the way to use it. But when you're both like at a distance and it's like two boxers, they start at the beginning of the match where they're trying to feel each other out. And at that point, it would be really weird for that one boxer to be throwing pa, 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 like that. Why are you throwing those combos when the guy's a mile away? It doesn't make sense. No, you're going to be trying to inch your way in, boom, boom, and set up the jab and come in that way. So I hope that makes sense. That's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.